Hi everybody, today we're going to be working with this beautiful gemstone cabochon. It is a Hypersthene cabochon. This is one that I've never worked with. I would love to see this wrapped. So that's what we're going to be working with today. So stick around. As usual, we're going to be using our standard jewelry making pliers, tape measure, and the wire that we're using is going to be 12 gauge. I'm sorry, not 12 gauge, 15 gauge and 22 gauge. The cabochon measures about 1 inch. Well, a little over 1 inch, give or take. Go ahead and get our base wire and measure and cut. I generally cut about 12 inches, but this one I'm going to go ahead and cut an additional inch. So I'm going to cut 13 inches for our base wire, just in case we need a little excess for whatever reason. Okay, 13 inches there. So now we're going to find the center of our base wire. Since it's 13 inches, so the center should be right around here. All right, and go ahead and place your cabochon right in the center of the wire. And then what we're going to do is wrap the wire around the cabochon. So now we have our frame. I'm not sure if I want to do flat across the top or just make it into a V shape here. Let's just go with that. Flatten it on the top. All right, you can remove your cabochon now. And right there in the middle of the two wires where they meet, I'm going to put a little mark so you can know where to bend your wire. We're going to take our flat nose plier and go right on the side of this and turn the wire upward at a 90-degree angle, like that. And then you want to go right beside it and do the same thing for the other side. All right. There we go. So now we're going to take our weaving wire, bring these two wires together here, and begin to wrap the weaving line around to start to form the veil. Start out with a little piece, have about a 1 inch tail or ½ inch tail. I like to start it and tuck my tail in right here immediately, and then just continue wrapping around. Okay. Make sure you're making neat wraps and that they're side by side. So just continue wrapping until you get about 1 inch bail. Let's see where we are. Less centimeters, let me do inches. And we're almost at 1 inch. Just a couple more wraps. Make sure that when you're wrapping, you're doing it as tightly as possible and making sure that each wrap is pressed closely against the previous wrap. and not on top of it. Last wrap, and then just snip it right there. Go ahead and take your pliers and flatten that piece. Actually, you want to go ahead and flatten your entire wrap that you just made. Go ahead and flatten it down. Make sure they're all neatly side by side. All right. There we go. I like to check to make sure that my cabochon still fits into the frame before I go any further, and it does. So now, just remove it. Go ahead and take your round nose pliers, or your stepped bell making pliers to go ahead and form your bell. You want to hold it right there in the middle of your weave and just turn and give it a turn all the way over like that. Okay. This little tail that's sticking out right there that we started with, we can go ahead and snip that away. The reason I tuck it in is because I don't like to just have it finished like I do on the end here. I like to have it tucked because there's less chance of it unwinding. So if it's tucked inside, you can't go anywhere. So now we can go ahead and snip it right on the inside there. All right. Now, this curve we just made, you want to grab it right here at the end, press, and let's get a better view. Press right there to tighten it a bit more and push inward like that. Okay, this is what you want, the look you want. You can just squeeze it a little tighter there. All right, this is what it should look like from the front. Okay, now I'm thinking to go ahead and give it a little curve, a little bit of a curve that way, and do the same the other side, a little curve that way. Yeah, try to make them as even as possible. Sometimes they're a little off, but I think that's fine. Now you want to grab your round nose plier and grab it right there, right before it meets the frame. Grab it here and turn inward like that, and do the same for the other side. Okay. Now try to just shape it a bit like you did the top. Give it a little curve. All right, this is what you should have, or similar to this. Now we're going to grab our weaving wire again. I think I'm going to cut about maybe 3 inches from it. Let's cut about 3 inches. Okay. Okay, now we want to take that weaving wire we just cut and wrap it around this base wire here. Give it about 3 wraps, I guess. That's 1, 2, and 3. Make sure they're pushed close together there neatly. All right, and then you want to take the same wire and now wrap it around here. Let's say 2 or 3 times also. Go ahead and wrap there. 1 and 2. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, let's just go with 2. Matter of fact, let's do 3. What the hey? And then make sure you finish your wrap in the back. Okay? Go ahead and snip. And press. I'm trying to press it inside this little wrap here, but I can't really. There. Alright, and here's how it looks in the front. And go ahead and do the other side the exact same way. Okay, now this is what I have so far, what we should have so far. Now these 2 wires here, we're going to go ahead and cut another piece of the weave wire to wrap right here. I'm going to give it about 5 wraps. Okay, I've wrapped the bottom there. Now you want to turn your frame over and put your cabochon back inside. Not sure if I want the silvery side up or down. Yeah, I'll just go down. Alright, put your cabochon back. And then you take these 2 wires here and bend them up over your cabochon. Oops, gently. And get it to stay in place. Like that. Okay. Okay, now you want to take one of the wires and hold it as to make a curve like you did on the back, like that, and hold the other side, curve it around like that also. Try to make them somewhat symmetrical. Okay. Don't worry about your cabochon, it'll stay in place once we get it wrapped. All right, now hold your finger right along here and just pull upward, and it should curve like that. And go ahead and do the other side. Oop, I bent that one a little too much. Let's fix that. There we go. Kind of looks like a spade. Alright, now I'm going to wrap these wires, bend them down like that. this is basically it. So I'll just need to fix it because they're a little wonky, kind of not straight or whatever, they're crooked. So once I straighten these, it'll be a lot better. Anyway, to secure well, I don't even need to wire wrap. I mean, to weave these two wires, I'm just gonna leave them as they are. But what I am going to do is make sure they're even. Snip that side. And then just take these little pliers here and turn to form a little loop to close in that sharp edge like that. And do the other side the same way. Stubborn little bugger. All right. Okay, after all the manipulating of the wires, I ended up with this shape. Here's the front, and there's the back. Overall, I think it came out nicely. Thanks for joining me for another From Fee to You wire art creation. Come back again soon to see what other creations we come up with. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate you sticking around.